Lemmy Kilmister, the legendary frontman of Motorhead, was never one to hold back his opinions. Known for his gravelly voice, thunderous bass lines, and uncompromising lifestyle, Lemmy built a reputation as one of rock and metal's most authentic figures. His career spanned decades, and he became a cultural icon not just for his music, but also for his honesty. While many artists in the industry carefully curated their public image, Lemmy spoke his mind without hesitation. This blunt honesty extended to his feelings about certain bands and genres, some of which he openly admitted he hated. One of Lemmy's most vocal criticisms was directed at the wave of glam metal hair bands that dominated the 1980s. Groups like Poison, Warrant, and others embraced flashy outfits, teased hair, and a commercialized image that prioritized appearance over substance. For Lemmy, who believed in raw energy and authenticity, glam metal represented everything wrong with the industry. He often argued that the scene was less about music and more about fashion, and he dismissed it as shallow and artificial. While these bands sold millions of records, Lemmy stood firm in his disdain, calling them plastic and soulless. Another group that drew his ire was the rise of fake punk bands in the late 70s and 80s. Punk music began as a raw, rebellious, and anti-establishment movement, but as the genre gained popularity, many acts emerged that lacked the spirit and authenticity of the originals. Lemmy, who respected bands like the Ramones and the Damned for their sincerity, despised the opportunistic groups that jumped on the punk bandwagon without truly understanding its ethos. To him, punk was about attitude and honesty, not marketing gimmicks, and he felt that fake punk bands betrayed the very rebellion they claimed to represent. Lemmy also made it clear that he had little tolerance for commercial pop rock acts that dominated mainstream charts. He was especially critical of bands that he felt abandoned their raw beginnings for the sake of mass appeal. To Lemmy, selling out was the ultimate sin in music. He frequently said that music should be about passion and conviction, not simply chasing popularity or radio play. While he never hated success itself, Motorhead had a loyal global following. He despised when artists compromised their sound and integrity for fame. What made Lemmy's criticism sting even more was the fact that he wasn't just a critic looking in from the outside. He had lived through nearly every wave of rock and roll. From his early days as a roadie for Jimi Hendrix to his time with Hawkwind and finally his reign with Motorhead, Lemmy saw the industry evolve firsthand. He earned the right to speak bluntly, and fans respected him for it. Even when people disagreed with his opinions, they admired the fact that he never pretended to like something he didn't. Despite his disdain for certain bands, Lemmy's hatred wasn't rooted in personal grudges. Rather, it came from his deep love of music and his desire to keep it authentic. He respected artists who stayed true to themselves, even if he didn't particularly enjoy their sound. What he couldn't stand were performers who, in his eyes, cared more about image or commercial success than the music itself. In the end, Lemmy's legacy wasn't just about what he hated, it was about what he stood for. He championed honesty, grit, and passion in a world where those qualities were often sacrificed for profit. His rejection of glam metal, fake punk, and commercial pop rock wasn't simply about dislike. It was a declaration of what rock and roll should be. Lemmy lived and died by the code of authenticity, and that is why, even years after his passing, fans continue to revere him as the ultimate symbol of uncompromising rock spirit.